and hope you're all having an amazing day or had an amazing day, depending on your current time zone. So, today I'm going to discuss a little bit about our prescription journey, where we are today, and how difficult it was to get to this point, as far as making sure that our medication is synced up. Not only that, but making sure that my daughter takes her medication properly, understands the ramifications of not taking her medication properly. So, for my oldest, she's good. She's been doing her medication quiet for some time, so I don't have to worry about her. But for my youngest, she has had a couple of episodes where she just would skip her medication and then she'll have a breakthrough seizure or two. So the importance of understanding the ramifications from that has been drilled into her. And it is definitely key today, as far as making sure she doesn't have a breakthrough seizure, obviously. Hello. For those of you guys that are new to my channel, welcome. My name is Kathy. For those of you guys that are seasoned subscribers, welcome back. On Mondays, I do videos all about fashion, accessories, just fun things that I enjoy doing to keep my mind off of the second half of the week videos, which are all about my girls and their journeys with two diseases, TSC and FSGS. TSC being tuberous sclerosis complex that can cause tumors to grow in any major organ throughout your body, and FSGS being a form of kidney disease that causes damage to the glomeruli, which is the kidney filtration, which can lead to kidney disease, kidney failure, kidney transplant, or kidney dialysis, depending on the disease's progression. So if you're interested in either or, please hit the subscribe button and hit the little bell so you can be notified on all of my latest videos. And please don't forget to hit the like button and comment below. Let me know what you think of today's video. And let's get started. So let's get to the nitty gritty. Dealing with the pharmacy. Okay, so what I've learned throughout our journey: sync up your medication. So easier said than done, right? So what I've learned is that whenever I take my youngest daughter to the pharmacy, not the pharmacy, to the doctors, I always ask him to refill her prescription, all her prescriptions on that day. So it makes it easier to be able to sync up the medication to the date that we are looking to get them refilled, right? So we don't have to travel 6 times to the pharmacy. We use Walgreens here. Prior to that, when we lived in the Northeast, we used to use like a private like old school pharmacy, if you remember those, the little corner pharmacists, which was great. It was always nice to be able to go to the corner and just talk to your pharmacist and get all the little trinkets from the pharmacy. It was always fun. But here it's pretty much all big businesses, right? CVS, Publix, or Walgreens. So Walgreens is our primary pharmacy. This is the place that we go to pick it up. And we've run into certain instances where, okay, there's not enough medication, so we have to go back for the second half. The medication didn't go in. It says it's ready, but when you go there, it's not, and the headaches, right? So the one way that we try to work around this is to make sure that, first of all, sometimes we do have to call in advance to make sure, which is a hassle. If you guys know the process, all the press 1, press 5, press 6, ask to get transferred to pharmacy, then the AI will tell you that, hey, we can help you, and then we're like, no, we don't want to. When we speak to somebody, and then it's a pain. So I have downloaded the app. The app too can be a joke sometimes, as you guys know. Sometimes they'll say it's ready. Sometimes they'll say that call the pharmacy. You call the pharmacy, they say, hey, you don't have enough prescriptions, and it's just a pain. So what I've learned to do is whenever we go to see her doctor, which is every 3 months, I make sure that all of her medication is synced up prior to going. So if there is a medication that isn't, what I'll do is I'll say, hey, doctor so can you please do me a favor and sync up this medication and put it in for this day, and I'll sync up that medication as well. So I've learned these little tricks here and there because it is so important, so key to avoid having to go to the store every so often. Now, I was using the mail-in prescriptions. We used to have Express Script through my company, and we've changed now to CVS Mark, oh whatever, Caremark, excuse me. Caremark. Okay, so it used to be Express Scripts. Now we use Caremark. Express Script. I'll tell you right now, for us, because the medication takes forever to get here, so yeah, it was taking too long. And then, we noticed that, hey, I'm not going to be able to take my medication on time because it's not here. And that went for my medication as well. So it was a pain. I didn't like it. Hence why I think that's why my company stopped using them. Anyway, um, with the only medication that we get via mail from Caremark is the Everolimus, which is the one that she takes for the protein blocker um, for her tumor. But what's good about that, her brain tumor, what's good about Everolimus is that uh, they're pretty good. Caremark is pretty good with calling at least 2 weeks in advance to start the process. So they'll tell you, hey, your prescriptions are up, da 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 da, and then we start with the process. So that's the only one that we couldn't sync up. Her other four, three of them were fine. We were able to get them in and finally get them synced up, which took forever. It did take a few months to get it done because you have to be on top of it and understand, when you're due for your prescription. So that was one of the big things. The fourth one, which is the patches. Now, with the patches, you do have to call in advance. The methylphenidate, patches. Those obviously they are considered a. What's a good way to put it? With the methylphenidate, they are a little bit more stringent on the process, so you do have to call in to make sure that obviously that you're a real person requesting this, right, and that you're legally requesting the patch. And then once you go in, you do have to show ID to actually get your prescription. Now, it's really important to make sure that you understand where you are with all of your medications, especially when it comes to someone that has seizures. Like my youngest, if she misses her dosages of any of her medication, she can have a breakthrough seizure. So one thing that I've taught my daughter is to understand what her, the levels and what she needs to take. So she's good with that. She understands how to take her medication. She's good with that. But there have been instances where she's not taking enough of one, or she's skipping medications, which if you ever seen my video on the total reset, that one's kind of like me explaining to you guys about her journey with not taking her Everolimus, which ended up she started having a couple of seizures here and there. So that was really a difficult time because once it's out of your system, it's almost like a restart. Like you really literally have to restart your whole medication routine and get your body used to it again, which is very dangerous too for someone that has seizures. Anytime something's thrown off or changes in your system, that can trigger a seizure. So anything that it has to kind of like, you have to build up the immunity to using these medications to a point where it finally says, okay, this medication is good, it's keeping everything in order. So if you throw anything in the wrench, or you take away something, or you add something new, it can trigger a seizure, which is why it's so important, or anyone that has any history with seizures understands the importance of trialing different medications to see what's the perfect combination of mixtures that works best for you and that helps reduce or stop or eliminate your seizures altogether. We are very fortunate that Alani is able to stop her seizures from happening. There are families with TSC that unfortunately they can be having several seizures a day because of where the cluster of tubers are located in the brain, which is very sad. I've seen plenty of families like that where the kid is just nonstop having seizures, which is so difficult. Now, there was a series of times where there was, back in the day when she was younger, probably about between 5 and 7, where she was having daily seizures, but they were very quick, and almost like on certain occasions we wouldn't even realize that she was having them. But now that she's older, obviously it's very easy to recognize. So one thing that happened in the past few days where Alani was not taking her medication completely, like she is supposed to take 9 ml one of her medications, she was taking 8 or 7 because she was rushing to go back to play her video games. I wasn't paying attention because she knows what to take, right? So she ended up she was having a couple of seizures here and there, and then she was telling me, Mom, I can't breathe that night sometimes. And I was trying to figure out, okay, so explain to me what's going on. So what I've taught Alani is to explain to me in detail anytime she feels off. So I recognize the signs of whether it's a kidney issue, whether it's a seizure issue, whether it could be related to her pancreas and stuff like that. So when she says she's having trouble breathing, I immediately associated that to Is she having heartburn? Is she having issues again with her pancreas or her GI or her kidneys and stuff like that? So I'm always trying to ask her as much as I can to get as much details from her. So she was telling me she was having trouble breathing at night. I ended up putting back her camera on because I had taken it off because she was older and I wanted to give her privacy at night. So I told her, listen, I'm going to be monitoring you for a couple of nights because I want to see what's going on, and she understood. So I caught the seizures a couple of times on the camera, and then I realized, okay, is this what's going on? And then the next morning when I went to, she wanted me to help her style her hair a certain way. While I was doing that, she arm went up, her left arm went up, her elbow went up and down, and immediately head down and to the left. I already knew she was having a seizure. So I asked her a little bit more details. So I was like, are you taking your medication? She was like, yes, I'm taking it. I was like, okay, so have you skipped or missed a dosage? And then she was honest with me. She was like, yeah, Mom, I think I haven't been taking 9 milliliters. I've been taking 7 or 8 or 6. I was like, you understand that if you're not consistent with your medication, this can happen. She's like, yes, Mom. So we started her back on her consistency. I started giving it to her to make sure that she was taking the right levels. She started getting back into her routine, and the seizures subsided and they stopped. I also called her neurologist to let him know in case she needed to get an updated level of medication because she has obviously she's grown a lot, so she is no longer where she was before. I also made an appointment and took her in to see the GI to make sure that, hey, let's take a look at her pancreas and her kidney to ensure that she's not having any issues there. So we have her ultrasound scheduled for tomorrow. So these are things that I always ask because she was telling me her hands were numb or her hands get numb. So if you know a little bit about seizures, you can have numbing, or after an episode, you can have numbing in your hands or feet. You can feel nauseous, very dizzy, obviously. So these are all things that happen to her after. But I always ask her, are you having plank pains? Are you having stomach pains? How's your urine when you go to the bathroom? Because these are all indicators too of kidney disease and stuff like that. Is it dark? Then I'll test her urine to make sure that she doesn't have any protein in it. So that's stuff that I do too. Once a week, I'll test her urine, unless she's on her private time. Unless she's on her girly girl time. There we go. Unless she's on her girly girl time, then obviously I can't test her because there's protein in the whatever. I'm trying to not be graphic here because I don't want to get my video. I don't. Whatever. Anyway, so those are things that I do as a parent to make sure that she's okay, and it's really important to be consistent with her medication. So, for if you ever seen my video called Total Reset, if you take the time out to check it out. So what ended up happening was she wasn't taking her Everolimus on time. So Everolimus actually helps you as well to stop seizures, but that's the protein blocker that has been shrinking her tumor. So she wasn't taking it for 4 days. She didn't take it. She started having seizures again. So the one thing about these medications, especially seizure medications, that if you're not taking them consistently, it's a buildup right in your system. So they help you obviously reduce your seizures, reduce your whatever it is. Medication needs to be built up in the system. So when you stop taking it, it's a total reset. You have to build up again the medication into your system so it can start doing what it needs to do. But what's scary about seizures is that sometimes medication becomes irrelevant in your system if you stop doing something like all of a sudden and then you try to redo it again. It can be less effective, right? It's kind of like antibiotics. So it's really important to make sure that you build up that medication in your system so that it can help you stop these seizures. For us especially, so whenever she stops it, it's like you almost have to reset it, which is really frustrating. And as a teenager, you got to be on top of them because you know how it is. When you start getting older, you think you're invincible and you forget about the importance of taking care of yourself health-wise, especially if it's someone that needs to be taking their medication. So it's always scary to me. One good thing about my oldest is that she understands the importance of taking her meds. So I'm really, really, really thankful for that. Okay, guys, I hope this video was informative. I know sometimes I can rant, but it's really important for just to get our message out. And I am so appreciative of you guys taking the time out to check out my videos. And really, if you have any questions or anything that you'd like to know a little bit more about our journey with tuberous sclerosis complex, FSGS, seizures or dialysis and stuff like that. Definitely have a lot of experience here. And just know I'm not a doctor, nurse. This is all about our real life scenarios and what we've been through, having two girls with disabilities and having two girls with TSC and FSGS. It's so crucial to understanding the importance or being knowledgeable when it comes to handling these scenarios. And we've learned a lot throughout the years. Obviously, everything we do isn't perfect, but we've learned a lot of hard lessons. Let's put it like that. Okay, guys, thanks again. And please don't forget to hit that subscribe button. It is free, and I am so thankful for you guys and your support. I'm almost at 4,000 subscribers, and I couldn't do it without you guys. And I am so beyond grateful that you guys are taking the time out to check out my video. And please don't forget to focus through and evolve. Ciao.